movies that we were interested in seeing. That was our theme, 2023.
2020.
First week we
Anyway.
watched Talk to Me. This week we watched a movie called The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster, which sounds like a porno, but it's not.
What?
I don't really know about that one. On that note, I don't even think we said welcome to apartment theater. So
I
welcome
definitely
He did.
did.
I was singing through it. I was
Oh,
making
okay, that's
background
why.
music.
I was just distracted by your lovely voice. That's why.
So,
All right.
Death Can Be Cured. Vicaria, I think that's how you say her name,
Yes.
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 is a brilliant teenager who believes death is a disease that can be cured. After the brutal and sudden murder of her brother, she embarks on a dangerous journey to bring him back to life.
Say
I
it.
guess, I guess that's what
Say
it was
it.
about.
Say what you want to say because
Say what you want to say. Anyway.
I know you want to say it, Justin.
Justin, what did you think of this movie? Tell us what you
Tell
thought of
us,
this.
Justin.
What you thought of this movie, Justin?
Yeah, tell us, Justin.
This is one of the worst movies I've ever fucking
Yeah.
seen
Yeah,
in my life.
yeah, yeah, we knew it.
Okay.
Yep, we
So
pegged it.
me and Cass knew you'd hate this movie specifically off of we both liked it.
Yep.
What?
Yes. No, this movie.
What?
No, this movie was good.
What?
Okay.
No,
No.
you guys are out of your
Okay,
fucking
No.
Justin.
mind.
Okay.
No,
Justin.
this movie was
is
good.
The only thing that was kind of like, kind of hated, just because this is pretty much a new version of Frankenstein.
Yeah,
and
it's a
his
retelling
monster.
of Frankenstein.
And Frankenstein has been told. So the novel came out in the 1800s, I think. And then the first movie came out in the 1930s. And there have been so many Frankensteins and so many like rewritings and different.
Mhm.
So it's been told a lot. But I like this version. So that's the one thing that was like kind of just like meh is the Frankenstein situation. Otherwise, I liked it. I thought
I
it was
liked it.
gory too. Like when she was like getting out his eye and she was giggling about it. I'm like, oh, I love this. And then I realized maybe there's something wrong with this situation.
Yeah, there's a bit. There's some like juicy body horror in here.
Yeah.
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 I'm like, okay.
It was very low budget. I thought the acting was really bad by most of the people in the movie.
It wasn't that bad.
I didn't feel like there was really any consequences of her bringing her brother back to life. It was just
He killed a lot
Well,
of people.
Yeah, he killed
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot of
okay.
people,
A lot of
Okay,
people,
I'm
actually.
saying like
including her
I don't really
family.
feel I don't
Yeah.
really feel like there was a point.
Okay,
The point
so
of this
let's
movie
start
is
out-
literally black anger.
Yeah, which
That's
okay,
like
all right.
that's
so
the point of this
let's-
movie.
Okay,
It's just-
guys,
Wait,
trust me.
let's-
I understood it because this movie, like I understand that you don't need to really be you don't always need to be subtle in your messaging,
No.
but when you are so in your fucking face, like I get like there were so many points where I'm like I get it. Why are you doing this? Like there was one point where one of the characters was like holding up a autobiography of Malcolm X and was like, "This is our real history, not this censored history." And I'm like, I understand that, I do, and I sympathize with you. But why are you doing this right now?
Because not everyone knows that. At
Yeah,
some
no,
point,
no,
we
I
all
just-
discover that that's not the real
I-
history.
no. Okay, guys, I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying here. I understand what she's saying. I agree with what she's saying.
Mhm.
Why was she talking about it in the first place? There were so many times where it was just, you know, it's always corrupt and how things are, and just like they'll just go on and on about like shit that does matter. Yes, it does. But why are you talking about it?
But why
right now?
But why wouldn't you talk about it?
Just randomly. Like, it had no significance to anything. I'm like,
She's
what? What are you doing? It was so, like, it was laughably bad about how just it's like it thinks it's telling you something, but it's like, I already know this, and you're not providing it in a way that is engaging in any way. It's just like, okay, you're just spouting this at me. Like, I understand about police brutality. I understand about whitewashing history and that kind of stuff. Like, I get that. But there were so many points in this movie where I'm like, what? I don't think
He's just so mad about it.
I'm not
He's just so mad.
I'm not mad. I'm just like, you guys thought that those were good scenes where they would just go on about random shit and you just be like, what are
I
you
think it's telling
doing?
a story about like actual lived black lives that we don't know
Because
about.
this movie didn't feel like it was made by people that knew what, like, living on the streets or whatever, like,
The director's
this
black.
I
Not that
I-
it means he knows what living in the
Okay.
streets is, but
that's okay, but that's what I'm saying. This seemed more like,
it's a stereotype, like, and a lot of it branches off of that, but stereotypes also exist for a reason.
okay. This is all right. I think I'm going
I
to be
think
able to formulate what I'm going to try to say here.
Okay, then
You're
I
not
have
going to
some
convince
idea
us that it's
afterwards.
bad, but carry on.
This movie, I understand it's made by black people. It's clear as day because it's in the fucking beginning thing. It says black made. It's like RKJL, whatever the fuck that film one is. Which every time I see that, I know that it's gonna be a shit movie for me. Like, we've watched their movies before and it's
Mhm.
really bad. But it just seems like these were I'm not saying that the people that made this movie never struggled or anything in their life, because everyone has struggled at every part of their life, but it just doesn't seem like they know that part of life. It doesn't seem like they know the streets. They seem like the kind of people that knew, like, suburban life and went by what people are telling them.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
because the other thing too, I have seen movies that made me feel like, okay, this was clearly made by someone who has dealt with this shit. Like,
Mhm.
Menace to Society felt like a movie that was from the streets, and the guy that wrote the script was like, this was shit I was dealing with my entire life. And the way that the characters talk to each other sounded like what you would fucking hear and see. Like, it all made sense. But for this one, they would talk to each other so strangely. They were like, it feels like I'm watching something else try to, like, mutate into the movie, and it doesn't mesh well. Why is there a guy just walking around with a fucking machete? Like,
There's no
I'm
law
sorry,
there.
I'm sorry. Where do you think we are? We're not in, like, Somalia or something. Like, we're in the, I imagine, US somewhere. I did probably California or something. That's what it looked like to me. Like a Compton type area
Yeah.
or whatever. But it just seemed so, like, cartoonishly racist for some of the things that would happen. Like, when she's interrupting the teacher talking, and I'm like, yeah, the teacher, of course, overreacted. Oh my god, this is so fucking stupid. Like, can't you see how oppressed she is? Like, I guess, but also she needs to shut the fuck up in the class. Like, I don't think it was right for the amount of force that was used, but it was like, guys, I don't think that it's not gonna escalate this bad. I hope not. But then again, that's a whole different thing. I'm trying to make this not sound like I'm some kind of like racist bigot because I'm not. I'm just like, this movie just doesn't seem genuine to me. That's the issue that I have. It's trying to have a message, but the message is so like
It
in your face,
feels
and
like almost watered down. Like you're only getting the surface tension of it.
it feels like it's pandering.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like. This is what I would consider an actual woke movie of like, this just seems like a movie that was made by a machine that was like Frankenstein but racism. It just, I don't know. I didn't feel like the monster really added anything to it either. Like I don't feel like there was any conflict with her. I'm trying to remember how like the Frankenstein story goes because all I can remember is like, oh, they
So,
killed Frankenstein's
the-
monster, but like, does
in
Dr.
the original-
Frankenstein think about like
So-
the duality of like dealing with the living and the dead and creating a monster and like playing God? Does he think about, because I don't know if she ever, the monster kind of fucks off for most of the movie. I
Yeah,
forgot he
so-
was there half the time.
So, the original Frankenstein was pretty much doing the same thing just to see if he could create life that was already taken away. And Frankenstein monster does end up killing Frankenstein. So that is a thing that does occur. I don't remember if it's intentional though, like if he like pushed him off the top of the tower or if he fell off the top of the tower. I haven't read it in a while, but so I do agree. I don't like there wasn't enough of the monster when they are making a like Frankenstein story, because it's straight up Frankenstein. Like she sets him up in a chair and like uses the electricity to bring him to life. But I think I think she was also just seeking affection from her broken family. Like when she was 8, her mother died holding her. And then when she I think she's like 16, right? Something like that.
Yeah, she's a teenager.
Yeah, her brother gets shot and died. You find out she's like this body snatcher, and she's just like, well, I needed other body parts to bring Chris back to life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're not right in the head, darling, but
She's going through some shit.
That's a hard thing to grasp, like especially when a family like, in like that. I don't know what year it's technically supposed to be, but it's definitely in a time where like family
like
is
modern.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't
pretty.
know,
I feel like it's pretty modern. Cause I mean, they were all wearing like fairly modern clothes. I mean, she had like a school uniform or whatever, but that's.
Yeah, you can still have uniforms and
Yeah.
like have like what they would consider like hood clothes, even though those really aren't hood clothes. Because when you think hood, you think a little more baggy. Those are definitely like.
Yeah, they were just normal.
Yeah.
Like,
But so
I don't
we
know
have
that there's a dress
gangs.
code to be in the hood.
I don't know. My
Depends on which one you are in.
I had a friend
I guess so.
growing
Yeah.
up. My friend grew up on the south side, is what we would call it. Not a very great place. Well, it's the south side at the edge of the projects. Not a very good place. I slept over at her house a lot. I've seen a lot. Granted, I have never like personally grown up, so I can only imagine how like
Yeah, I know you
growing
didn't
up
grow
in that
up.
could
It's
be.
fine.
But like
You're actually still a child.
Yes, I never grown up. I act like one. But like random shooting in the middle of the night like is a thing.
Yeah.
People fighting on the streets like is a thing, and like people would like peek out the windows to see who's fighting who. So the father pretty much goes into a black pit of depression after losing his son. Makes sense. Losing your child,
Yeah.
that's gotta be horrible.
Well, lost wife, slash mother shortly after a lost son.
Yeah.
So.
So he starts doing drugs again. I think it's heroin. I don't know what drug it is, to be honest.
I think it
But-
was supposed to be like crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like crack or
then-
heroin.
But then I was like, this man is way too big to be doing crack. Like, I'm sorry, but crack, you're
Well,
not
yeah,
you're
but
not
he-
gonna be fucking jacked on crack.
He just started doing it again. Like
Yeah,
she said. So
but-
like it didn't
still-
maybe it didn't get to him yet, and we don't know how often he does it at that point. We just see she just knows that she found a bottle of whatever it was
Yeah.
thrown out.
It was like a crack pipe that she saw.
Mm-hmm. That's what I
Was it?
thought.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't do crack. Like
Well, maybe
I
you
don't know.
should.
I don't know. Like I don't even know how one does crack. Like you just smoke it. Like is it like pot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
As a
uh,
crack smoker, no.
zero clue.
um.
I'm
But,
so
There's a
boring.
YouTube tutorial on how to do
One
it.
thing,
Okay,
one
thanks.
thing I did like miss was the pregnant girl Chris's girlfriend.
I think so.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out how
Yeah.
they were like family, because they were saying like family and stuff, and I'm like, but she's not a sister or an aunt.
I
like,
think
so
the pregnant girl was his girlfriend, and then
she had the 2 kids.
the other 2 kids were either nieces and nephews or her kids, or I don't know. They're
I think they were her kids, but I don't know if they're Chris's kids.
yeah.
So she is the sassy one.
Jada.
I do like her.
I like
she is
Jada. She's
sassy.
cute.
Um,
Also,
But,
did you catch when she says, "He's here," and she says it in the same like cadence
Yeah,
as the
yeah.
poltergeist? They're here, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute."
let me tell you what, children are creepy.
Children are creepy. There's something else
Um,
that she did
This
that,
little girl was just creepy
yeah.
in general.
It just did. I thought she was so bad at acting, it just didn't do anything.
I mean,
I
child
like her.
actors, like not
You
a
get
lot
what you
of
get.
kids- yeah, like there's some really good child actors,
Mhm.
but like they don't. Some of them don't become very good until they're older.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so then we get the daughter of Jada, becomes friends with Chris. Now Chris goes on a murdering spree after being brought back to life, but you later find out he only kills people that called him a monster. So
Mm.
if you just said like he wasn't a monster, then it's like,
Or if you shot at him.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure like if anybody were to shoot at me, I probably would have that same reaction of attack.
I'm sorry, but yeah, he looked like a fucking. He looked like a pile of diarrhea. You're gonna tell me that? Oh yeah. Oh, this guy looks like a normal fucking human being. No, he looks.
She-
He looks disgusting. What the fuck is wrong with him?
She is a fantastic scientist. However, she should never go into plastic surgery.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
That
So,
seems to be
one
like a
thing-
genre of horror movies. Is
Well, one thing is
Justin
on with this
froze.
today. No,
Chris,
it's
Chris-
yeah, because
well,
it
Chris-
freezes for you guys too.
Oh, yeah.
so-
Yeah, so we
Um,
missed like half the shit you say.
so the little girl teaches Chris to talk again. So it's now to
Mhm.
like a baby kind of talk, so he can formulate sentences, but they're not good sentences. So
Mhm.
he at one point when he's like crying, because you have to think just like actual like Frankenstein's monster, that has a name that I really can't remember, but
Frankenstein.
no, Frankenstein's
Monster.
the scientist.
No, but yeah, Frankenstein's monster is Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think he gives him a name though.
Or he comes
But
up with
whatever.
one on his
Anyways,
own.
besides the point. Besides the point.
Fucking
Um.
Curduncle. That's his name.
So the monster dabbles in the fact that he is now alive and he's trying to comprehend what he is. He's trying to like figure out what the fuck's going on and just wants to be like loved and like things to go back to normal, which they're not going to because you were dead for I don't know how long of a period. But we see Chris go through the same thing and of like, what am I? Like, what I am a monster, and where then Vicaria is just like, no, you are Chris, which is true. Like that was a like scene that's true. Like you are her dad's son, like her mother's son, like you are this great person. You're not a monster. Granted, Vicaria kind of made him a monster. I find it kind of funny that she brings everybody back at the end.
Me too.
When she's like, oh yeah, they're freshly dead.
They're fresh dead. I can bring them back.
I was just like, well, what was the point of having them dead in the first place then? Like,
because it was supposed to make the point of Chris was only killing the people that called him a monster, and obviously the people were like, you're a monster, get away from me, Chris, you're a monster. All died.
I get that, but I'm saying, like, what was the point of, in the movie, what's the point of killing those characters when they're just like, ah, fuck it, they're back?
Because that's just the point that she fixed death.
Yeah, that she figured it out.
That, yeah, she cured death, cured the disease.
So this character had no flaws.
Yeah, she's our Mary Sue. Thank you.
I was.
I'm pretty sure.
We need one. Let me have her.
She's a Mary Sue.
Let me have her. I like her. Let me have her.
So,
you guys can like this movie all you want. I'm not gonna stop you.
There is a scientist, like an actual like scientist that has come to the same conclusion that death is a disease, and I can't think of the scientist. Like I know that that's other than a book. Hold on.
I like different things that this movie was like doing though. That we have a black female lead, and she's also a STEM person and in science and that kind of stuff, which like doesn't get shown a whole lot. I feel like I like Justin's point that you were making, that you're like, yeah, I get it. I already know this. That like this movie is like black anger kind of thing, and it's I want to say, do you feel like this movie catered to being palatable for white audiences who do not understand the black experience? Or haven't been like...
So I feel
haven't
if they were going
heard
to...
their side of history and like their life story.
Feel if that's the case, to show like a white audience like how they're being like treated in society still, you could have went harder. Like you couldn't have sugarcoated it. You could have like went pretty hard on that.
I didn't feel like there was any consequences in this movie, and I didn't really care about any of the characters. And hell, some of them, I got a couple of the characters, I straight up got them confused with the other person. I'm like, wait, is this that guy? And I was wrong.
I like the random grandma. She's just there.
Just there.
Yeah,
she's there for the experience.
We got a guy that got hit with a fucking machete, and he just gets up.
So that was not that particular scene, but I mean, kind of. What happened that made him switch to almost a like protector to Vicaria?
I think he's always been like that
instead of
but
more brutal to her.
I also feel like
convenience of the plot.
I think he realized, because he even says it like, I'm the one that got your brother killed. Like, I told him to go kill these guys, and he died because of me. So I feel like he's forming a regret, and I think also at that point that he knows Chris is walking around and killing people.
Maybe.
So, but the one thing that does is when he gets to her little science lab with the thing that she needs.
His face is full of glass.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you like the cop's face? The
Oof.
cop's face was great. It was so goopy.
It was really goopy. I liked it, but I didn't like it.
I don't know how he could have done it because it didn't make any sense. And it's like, does he have electricity hands and he's like melting people? Like that was one thing I was trying to like, figure out because he was leaving burns.
Yeah, he was like leaving electric burns or something on people, which was really weird. Like there is this.
It kind of makes sense, but it also makes him off like he's a walking defibrillator.
Well,
right?
The other, like, why didn't the other people in the, like, he killed the people in the house?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have any, like, electrical burn marks.
The one did.
Yeah, the one guy where he went to kill him, but he got away. He had a burn neck, and that's
no,
why.
I'm talking about the family in the house.
Yeah,
like, they just
the
mother.
What was her name? Aisha.
Sister.
She had marks on her neck when she was brought back to life.
no.
I think.
Yeah. There was marks. Yeah.
You just weren't looking at her, Jeff Justin.
Yeah. As soon as
me.
like me and Cass were talking, like we bet you don't like, especially when you told us there's an hour left, and a half hour later you said there was 45 minutes, and we're like, he stopped it because he didn't like it.
No, I was putting my pizza away.
That's fair. But yeah, sure, there's plot holes. I can agree there's like plot holes to it, but it is, end of the day, it also is just a retelling of Frankenstein and his monster.
Yeah.
I also feel like they could have went a little deeper into the drug lord, because that's definitely what that guy's trying to be.
Yeah.
A drug lord.
What was his name? Congo?
Yeah. Why the red couch outside though? Like that thing definitely gets ruined.
Right? I like the whole like drug pin thing. Like I get it, that should exist, but I don't know. It was kind of.
Telling you.
It was like I'm like that's kind of. Like it just seems so silly. It seemed like teenagers trying to be tough. To me.
Yeah, the couch thing was a little, because I was like, that's a nice couch. Why we got?
And
that
he's
outside?
up on a hill,
like king of the hill, like.
Okay.
Like there is definitely like, I do agree. There's definitely goofy scenes.
Yeah.
I still liked watching it.
I enjoyed it.
I was telling John this, like I was like, I'm fighting with myself over it because it's still like just a regurgitation of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster that we've seen hundreds of times through books and plays and movies.
Yeah. So do we even really get anything that because he's saying, oh, I'm a monster, but it's just because he looks like a monster, but like, does he reflect on any of his own shit that he did?
I think that is him reflecting, like, I'm a monster.
I'm a monster, and it's like, what did you do?
Kill a lot of people.
It's like, well, no. Before that, you know, because he's
probably killed people.
Well, yeah, but you don't really like. Does he reflect on that? Like, do we learn anything from that? It's like, you did all this stuff, but I forgive you because you are still my brother, even though you've become a monster or something. Like, I don't know.
That's where I'm saying, like, he's struggling with himself. Like, he is now alive again, and he's trying to struggle with all of that. And I don't know, if the guy sent him to kill people, I'm gonna assume that's his hitman. That he's probably sent people to kill, like, him to kill people before.
I like saw the monster as more of a like personification of societal bullshit.
Sure.
I wish we saw
You
more of
know?
his face though. I would have liked to see more of his face.
Yeah.
Like, we saw a lot of his hands, which of course were like swollen and like all that crap, because like post-mortem stuff, and then being sewn together with like other body parts and
Mm-hmm.
all that crap. Um, the glimpses of his face that we did get, I just wish we saw more of. But that's because I like seeing the monsters.
He was very juicy looking.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all-
He was definitely fresh, fresh looking. I
Kinda.
I was hoping, and thankfully I did get that, where he didn't like become like a zombie thing and was like eating people. He was just killing
Yeah.
people that called
He
him a
just-
monster.
He's just killing people.
So,
I
like,
just-
when he tells the cop like, I want to go home and see my father, like, he we'd never seen anything with him hating his dad. So I think it was again just because his dad said, "You're not Chris, you're a monster."
Well, so to me, that was the parallel of when the cops try to come into the house during the family dinner. And is it then? Or one of the moms is like, you know, if you're ever faced with a cop, what do you say? And the little kid was like, that I'm going home to like see my mom. And so that is a phrase that black kids are taught. If you are stopped by cops, you say you are going home. You don't say anything else. And so like to me that's like it's a memory of like this is what I say when I am stopped by these people, so I'm repeating it. That's what that was to me. But
I think end of the day, Justin hated this movie, which I expected. I mean, Cass like it.
it's because Justin has garbage opinions. No, actually,
Your points, I do see your points.
yeah,
It
I
just-
understand why you don't like it.
It just
Yeah.
feels like it was really half baked on all of its things. Like at the core of it, it seems like a good idea, but then in execution, it felt very sloppy,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like, honestly, it felt like the script was made by like a 12-year-old. Like it just didn't mesh well at all, and I think that there are just way better movies that you could watch, or if you're wanting like the black experience and like actually see how that kind of stuff is. I mean, like I said, it's not a horror movie, I mean, in a sense, but like Menace to Society, I felt like was one that was, I felt like was pretty close to that experience. And then, I mean, not that I know, I'm a fucking white guy, but I mean, I have friends that are black and they have gone through shit like that, and it's like, you know, that was one of them.
Wow, Justin, you have
Uh,
black friends.
I know, right? Deep Cover was another one too. It's got Lawrence Fishburne in it, and it pretty much talks about like the vicious cycle of crime, and that
Yeah.
even if you're trying to do something good, society
Mhm.
will find a way to put you in a position where
Yep.
you're stuck, no matter what. They'll
Mhm.
only view you as, you know, someone that can.
A monster and less than.
It's like, yeah. You just, you know, you get thrown into it because you know the streets, and then the streets take you over, and then they take you in. It's like it's just another cycle of the justice system. But yeah, I mean, there's other like horror movies with like strong black characters too. I mean, Night of the Living Dead is a clear example of that, and the movie we watched last week, Talk to Me, I mean,
Yeah.
she was fantastic, and that had a better representation of dealing with death and trying to
And
like
trauma and
yeah.
yeah.
Like I'm watching this and I'm like, God damn.
It is interesting that like both movies that we watched are dealing with
death,
trauma, and dealing with the death of a parent, and also like, you know, loss of siblings, but
Yeah.
Is that gonna be our like unintentional
Is-
thing this month? Like we
I
did
don't
an
know.
unintentional Irish
Did we
month.
did we accidentally do
No,
that?
we did not do an unintentional Irish month.
We did
said
an
let's
intentional
find some
Irish month, yeah.
We did
Yeah,
a,
we did.
I-
We did
no,
unintentional. We like picked like 3 movies that were Irish, and then we're like, "Fuck it, let's just watch all Irish movies."
No, you were like, let's do an Irish month. Don't fucking put words in my mouth. What
No,
the fuck
I
you
can
talking
go
about?
back because
No,
we have it recorded.
No, you were. Oh my god. We also did an unintentional month where we did mom trauma. We didn't mean to do that, and we did.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah,
we did
that
watch
was
a
the
mom drama.
unintentional month that I can remember. Where we were like, oh, I guess we could just do this. Which there's a lot more mama trauma movies that we can watch.
There sure are.
God, Talk to Me would have been great for that.
It would have.
Yeah.
It
I
would
watched
have.
Evil Dead Rise, and that I felt like was
Ooh.
also. That movie was a very confusing
Mhm.
feeling for me. On the one hand, it was good, but on the other, I'm
Ooh.
like,
Bonus content right now. I know. I kind of felt that way too.
The by the way, the
Like-
opening title screen for Evil Dead Rise, when the title comes out from behind the trees, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was like, I don't know, the demon being like the family and all that stuff. It was like,
Mhm.
so you just put your whole family in a blender and left. It's like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where
know.
do you go from
I-
there?
Because I feel like that movie stayed true to the Evil Dead franchise.
I like that it
in
wasn't in the
the, like,
woods.
Yeah, in terms of like the gore and the like super weird storyline that like kind of makes sense, but it really doesn't.
I haven't watched this movie
Like,
yet. I most likely
it's-
won't watch it unless Cass gets me to watch it again. Not
It's
that I have
on-
anything
You're gonna
against
watch
Evil
it
Dead.
like Cass is gonna watch The Wailing.
Yeah,
The one fucking.
good movie.
Ugh.
I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna hate it.
I don't care
On
as long as you watched it. I mean, you like this
purpose.
movie, and this movie fucking blew donkey balls, but whatever. It seemed like a cool idea, but it just seemed so like this. I don't want to sound like the cinema sin shit, because that shit's the death of criticism. But there was just so like, I can take some like leaps of like, all right, that whatever, but there was so much of it in this movie where I'm like, what? It just
What?
doesn't feel genuine to me. It just feels like the only way we could get this movie made is if, like, okay, can we just have a movie with black characters in it where we don't even mention anything with race? They're just we don't mention it. Like,
Probably.
can they just be normal characters? It's like every movie that has white people in it, we're not just like, what about our privilege?
Oh.
You're right. No, like
What
it would
about
drive
our
us all
privilege?
fucking it would drive us all fucking insane. Like I remember a Twitter post where it was like, why can't we have like a Harry Potter thing? Why does it always got to be about racism? And I'm like, you're right. Why?
Mm.
Why? Like, yeah, but like I get it. There's issues happening, but like, does every movie need to be about issues going on? Can it
mean,
Oh, I
just
get
be
it.
about a boy that wants to be a wizard?
in the Avengers movies, Samuel L. Jackson plays Nick Fury, and there's never anything about race with him.
Because it's not. Who gives a fuck about Nick Fury in the Avengers movies?
Because you just said, why can't there be black characters
I'm
and not have any?
No, that's not what I said. When it's predominantly a black cast, when you have black main character, because Nick Fury is not a main character. He says
Yeah.
a few things every now and then. I'm talking about. Well, Talk to Me was a good example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Never mentioned.
Yeah.
My-
it's
perfect.
not like it's not a disparity that's brought up or
It
yeah.
doesn't matter.
It's
don't-
yeah.
They treat it because it's normal. It's like
Mhm.
it's normal. Just treat it like it's normal, and then it's gonna be normal. It's like when you have gay characters and you don't make like a whole subplot about how
Yeah.
they're getting beat up in school. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't need this.
Yeah. I'm
They
on
can
board
be-
with that. That
They
it's
can smooch I'll let
Mhm.
him. I don't care. Smooch all day.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need another fucking subplot about like, but what about gay rights? Like, just let them kiss. Just let them.
Mm-hmm.
Let two men smooch each other. Two women
And that
smooch.
is why you should watch The Haunting of Bly Manor.
And that is why you should subscribe
To our
Park
podcast.
Theater.
Yeah, to our podcast.
I think
Where,
on that note, Justin,
Let people
Before
exist and deal with it.
Look, if you have Shutter, this movie is on Shutter. You can watch it on Shutter. You pay $7 for it, so you might as well.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know.
I don't know.
It's
Stop
from the
it.
reviews that I was seeing was that it's either you liked it or you hated it.
Yeah.
And
obviously.
so yeah, it's. I mean, like I said, for every movie that we've watched, you really gotta just watch to make up your own mind because
Mm-hmm.
how we view something could be completely different to what you think
Yeah.
too. So, and at the end of the day, if you like this movie,
Cool.
cool. I don't really care either way. Like if you hate movies that I liked, if you didn't like Talk to Me, I'm like I don't care.
I really like that movie.
Yeah,
I
like
did
that one.
too, and I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was on 4K Blu-ray already, and I'm like I kind of want this.
Yeah, you should get
Well,
it. I bet that
on
movie's
that
a
note,
trip to watch on
Justin,
4K.
Yes.
tell them where
Get us
they
outta
can
here.
find us.
We're on Spotify, we're on
Mhm.
YouTube where we stream, and if you subscribe, you'll know when we're streaming because it'll come up as like, hey, they're streaming, and I think
Mhm.
you can have a notification for when we're streaming too.
Yeah,
I
you
don't.
can ring the bell.
Yeah, you can ring the bell as well, and yeah, we have 10 subscribers, so that's something.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, are they all bots and are just us? Probably, but
Probably.
you know, who cares?
I don't
Fine.
follow us, so you know.
Thanks, Danny.
But yeah, you could.
I at
follow
least
us
know
on
that I am not one
Spotify.
of those 10. So we have 10 people out there who think we're doing okay.
Things.
But yeah, you
Mhm.
can follow us on Spotify as well. You can find all the episodes on there because there are episodes missing on YouTube because we were streaming on Twitch. Then we realized, why are we streaming on Twitch when we can just stream on YouTube
It's true.
and have all of our episodes there?
Mm-hmm.
Because Twitch doesn't like us, so whatever. But yeah, that's it. We're on everything. Check us out on everything. We're on social media stuff, but we don't really post anything on that. It's really
Mhm.
just come by YouTube and watch us do a stream, and then
Just
we'll.
come hang out.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can tell me how shit my opinions are too. I don't care. So.
Mm-hmm. I want somebody
uh,
to argue with Justin besides me and Danny.
I zoned out for a second.
Honestly, like I kind of prefer it when we watch a movie that is a little more divisive,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
that we can like, cause it's just
So we can
A
actually
lot
talk
of
about it.
times, there's a lot of episodes of us just bashing movies,
Yeah.
and not with the intention to,
I mean,
but
some of them deserved it because they were really
Yeah.
shit.
it's also nice when you get perspectives of like somebody who enjoyed the movie and somebody
Mhm.
who clearly did not enjoy the movie.
Like me.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note.
Goodbye. Get the fuck out.